Major funding for NJTV News is provided in part by the members of the New Jersey Education Association, making public schools great for every child, and PSE&G. We make things work for communities.
Tonight on NJTV News, housing woes.
New Jersey has been grappling with the affordable housing issue for more than 40 years. An assembly hearing today brought out all the old arguments.
We take a look at just how expensive it is to live here in New Jersey. And wait till you hear one woman's story.
Chesterfield's getting a 193% boost in school funding from the state. How will they spend it? And will other districts facing deep cuts have to raise taxes?
Plus, a child's early words could carry hints of language troubles ahead that parents might miss. Those stories and more next on NJTV News.
Live from the Agnes Varus NJTV studio at 2 Gateway Center in Newark, this is NJTV News with Mary Alice Williams.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Arguments over affordable housing caused another collision of concerned parties in Trenton. An Assembly Committee hearing meant to shed light on the subject instead generated heat. Chief Political Correspondent Michael Aaron reports.
The 45-year argument over New Jersey affordable housing got a good airing out today. The fight pits municipalities that want to protect their character against builders who want to build housing and advocates who want to open up the suburbs to minorities, veterans, and the disabled. Mayor after mayor came before the Assembly Housing Committee to complain that housing developers are using the law to try to gobble up their towns.
A developer came in with one of those projects and they asked for a density that's much more than we're comfortable with, which would impact our town. Park Ridge has 9,000 residents, 3,500 doors. They wanted, they said, give us roughly 1,000 units. And if you don't, we're going to go to a judge and ask for 2,000. And we're going to build affordable. That's not what this affordable process was meant to do. It's not meant to hold a gun to our heads.
For years, a body called COA, the Council on Affordable Housing, determined a municipality's fair share of affordable housing need. Then COA went moribund, and the decisions about allocations reverted to superior courts, where they were in the 70s and 80s. Municipalities don't like it.
At this point, I ask you to reinstate COA immediately. Get it out of the courts. Stop the endless chain of litigation. Give towns a chance to breathe and save taxpayer dollars.
Mayors especially don't like the builder's remedy, which allows 4 market rate units to be built for every affordable unit a developer provides.
We are required to build 306 affordable units, or approximately 1,530 total units. In the township, there's total 3,300 units now. We have approximately 10,000 residents. In the course of the 7-year period, our population will increase by 40%.
The New Jersey Builders Association sees a state full of municipal officials dragging their feet.
Some of the ideas we've heard today are worthy of real consideration. Some of them, frankly, are trying to move the ball backwards 20 years or 30 or 40 years to pre-COA or early COA processes, and they don't work. We've seen it not work for 15, 20 years now, which is why the Supreme Court wound up with the decision in the first place, and frankly, which is why some of the settlement agreements now that are coming out are being reacted to so negatively by the towns because they've been absent for so long.
Then there are the advocates like Kevin Walsh of Fair Share Housing, who push to open up the suburbs in the name of integration.
It is the fundamental problem in New Jersey is that municipalities use their zoning to exclude. They use their zoning to exclude people with disabilities. They use their zoning to exclude African American and Hispanic families. That is the fundamental problem.
Walsh pointed to the demographics of the towns whose mayors testified.
Where did the opposition come from today? Far Hills, not even 1% African American. Montvale, 1% African American. Colts Neck, 1.7%. Bernards, 2%. Park Ridge, 1%.
Republicans Holly Schepisi and John Bramnick objected.
You may, through your testimony, throw race into this discussion. That's your prerogative. But I would submit that there are numbers of housing units that would be deemed overdevelopment.
It's a hot button issue, you know, unfortunately, you know, when you talk about different people from the NJ Builders to the NAACP to people are talking about, you know, social justice, it's going to be hot.
Today's hearing was just meant to open up the conversation, said Benji Wimberly, the new Housing Committee chairman. No legislation was considered, but that's next. At the State House, I'm Michael Aaron, NJTV News.
The monthly cost of housing alone can leave New Jersey residents priced out of the market. The United Way's annual survey of survival budgets last year showed a cost of living increase far outpacing inflation and concluded a family of four needs to earn about $64,000 a year just to make ends meet. Leah Mishkin reports on the challenges facing people still chasing the dream.
This is my closet because there's not a closet outside, which is a difficult thing because there's no lock on this and you're living with strangers for the most part.
Those strangers all share this kitchen and the bathroom.
Now you've got black mold over here. So when you're paying this little bit of money, you have to deal with landlords that don't take care of the place very well.
Linda Tobin pays $500 a month for this room.
Housing is ridiculous. It is, you cannot find, even the place that I was just renting, you can walk 6 steps in any direction and you'll be in every single room in the apartment. And that was $1,200 a month there.
This hairdresser says she was forced to move out of that apartment a few months ago because she could no longer afford the rent. She says her disability check of $980 a month doesn't get her very far.
Out of that comes a very high car insurance. That's $300 a month. And I have, you know, like little surcharge is $50 a month. So you're already, and then the storage unit is $133 a month. I can do the $500 a month, but the only thing you have available to you is a room.
New Jersey does rank number 6 in terms of most expensive state in the United States for renters, according to the Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey. Just take a look at some of the numbers from its most recent report. If you're making the mean wage of roughly $18 an hour, you would have to work 62 hours a week, or 1.6 full-time jobs, to afford a 2-bedroom apartment at fair market rent. If you're making the minimum wage in the state, roughly $9 an hour, you would have to work 131 hours per week, or 3.3 full-time jobs, to afford that same 2-bedroom apartment at fair market rent.
You know, the bank teller, the child care worker, the police officer, the librarian, your counter person in the deli, they need to be able to afford to live somewhere. And we never were a state where people who worked here couldn't afford to live here. And now we are.
Her organization's report breaks down rent costs by county, and in New Jersey, Bergen, Passaic, and Hunterdon counties top the list, with an average rent of $1,670 a month for a 2-bedroom at fair market rent. The president-elect of New Jersey Realtors Association says with high rental prices, many are turning to buy their first home.
Every municipality, every town will be different, of course, with pricing, but I definitely see the shortage, that first-time home buyer, like where I live, that $250,000 to $300,000 price point. Those houses are selling very quickly.
She says it is a great time to sell a house, but a lack of inventory has increased the prices if you're looking to buy.
The median sales price has gone up. It's gone up over 4.6% from last June. The median sales price in New Jersey is $340,000.
And then your property taxes are going to run you the average bill coming in at $8,690 in 2017. It's the highest in the nation.
You know, we end up being number 1 in a lot of things. We're number 1 in foreclosures in the entire country. We're number 1 in millennials living at home because they can't afford to live out on their own. We're number 1 in seniors leaving the state to go somewhere else that they can afford. And those are not the things you want to be number 1 in.
Linda Tobin says she doesn't want to leave the state because her 2 daughters are here, but her options are very limited.
We have no living room in there. So I come out in my car and drink my coffee and, you know, read the news and stuff. And yeah, it's crazy.
She says another problem with renting a room is the unexpected. This weekend, Tobin found out she now has to vacate this new apartment, so a tough search begins all over again. In Garfield, Leah Mishkin, NJTV News.
tax credits top the state's business news. Standing by at the Strategic Development Group studio at the NJCU School of Business is Rhonda Schaffler. Hey, Rhonda.
Hi, Mary Alice. More questions about the tax credits handed out by the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, which are designed to attract and keep businesses in the Garden State. An analysis by the Wall Street Journal finds the tax credits are sold for cash more often than they are used to lower tax bills. According to the analysis, state records show companies have sold or transferred about 78% of the nearly $600 million in state tax credits handed out since 2011. The Wall Street Journal looked at more than 250 transactions and found that Panasonic was one of the biggest sellers of tax credits, and insurance companies the top buyers. Meantime, Governor Murphy today announced the EDA will provide some investments to incubators and other startups in the state. That would include payments to assist with rent in some cases, as well as a research and development tax credit. The governor has talked about New Jersey fostering an innovation economy. New Jersey currently has 29 business incubators. The business incubator company 1776 is moving into the Cherry Hill Mall. That company has several different locations, but this is the first time it's actually moving into a shopping mall. The owner of the Cherry Hill Mall described that move as a wave of the future as retail continues to evolve. The incubator company will occupy 11,000 square feet in the mall, with the space set to open in November. A reminder of the difficulties of developing land along the Delaware. In Camden, the developer of a property on the waterfront has written down the value of the project due to less than anticipated demand for office space. Liberty Property Trust wrote down $26 million. That's off its original estimate of $80 million. The write-down also comes in anticipation that state tax breaks slated for job creation along the waterfront won't be used. Liberty Property Trust began work on the 1.1 million square foot project. In 2016, part of the site was sold to American Water for its new headquarters. Stocks rallied late today on a report that the U.S. secured some trade concessions from Europe that sent the Dow up 172 points. And those are your top business stories.
Support for the Business Report provided by Verizon.
After serial nor'easters in March left hundreds of thousands of people without power, Governor Murphy had the State Board of Public Utilities investigate how the state's 4 electric companies responded. The result? The BPUs added more than 30 required actions to prevent service interruptions. They range from preparing for storms to restoring service, communicating with customers, and complying with board orders. This on top of the more than 100 requirements put in place after Hurricane Irene and Superstorm Sandy. A year after the Environmental Protection Agency identified 3 New Jersey Superfund sites, more than in any other state, as high priorities for cleanup, the EPA says it's making progress, citing a $74 million cleanup proposal at the American Cyanamid site in Bridgewater, an interim plan at the Ventron-Velsicol Superfund site in Bergen County, and an ongoing review at the Diamond Alkali site in Newark. The top Democrat on the House Energy and Commerce Committee, New Jersey Representative Frank Pallone, says more needs to be done and the government needs to raise more money to do it. There are more than 100 other Superfund sites in the state. Now that Governor Murphy signed a new nearly $8.5 billion school funding formula to replace the decade-old, routinely underfunded one, it's time to comb through the fine print, which shows most school districts in line for more aid, but also scores of schools that'll have to make do with less. Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan reports.
I had tears in my eyes, just tears of joy.
Andrea Katz feels elated. The Chesterfield parents got 3 kids in elementary school here, what used to be the most underfunded district in New Jersey, at just 9.5% of what it was supposed to get under the state formula. But after waging years of protest, Chesterfield's finally in the money. Under the funding reform law signed by Governor Murphy, it'll get $1.6 million more this year, a 193% boost in state school aid. Katz is giddy with anticipation.
They're going to have new books and computers and science kits. They're going to be able to give the kids some of what they've been missing.
Chesterfield's elementary school suffered through a decade of declining aid, while its enrollment tripled to 780. Despite building a new school building in 2011, the district's got leaks in the bathroom and a closet full of busted desks. It collected box tops to buy books. They canceled music performances.
My third grade daughter has been waiting years to play the recorder on stage. That was devastating to her to not have that opportunity. The first and second graders would sing in the chorus. That was done. We didn't have a play. We didn't have anything.
Tonight, its Board of Education will vote on a shopping list of long-deferred upgrades.
We'll be buying new books that haven't been purchased in, I don't even remember how long ago. We're going to have school counselor finally. We are also improving some of our curriculums.
The increase brings Chesterfield to 58% of the state aid it's due under the formula, and the district wants to spend $215,000 of it on a tax refund for residents who paid soaring tax rates.
So our taxpayer has had that burden for a couple of years now. So a very small portion, it's going back to the community.
A tax break?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the money grab. Now the money's in your pot. Totally different situation now. They're saying, whoa, hold on. We want to give this for tax relief now. We don't want it to go to the kids.
Tony Trangone's a bit critical. Pemberton school superintendent sits on the losing side of the state aid equation, caught in the political push to fairly adjust the funding formula. Overall, 391 districts got an increase, 171 got reduced state aid, and 14 stayed the same. Pemberton Township, a former Abbott district, will see its state aid slashed by $1.3 million this year.
It undermines the credibility of how our team runs the school district, knowing that we have to make cuts in July. There's no planning to it.
Pemberton's got 4,800 kids from pre-K through 12. Anticipating funding cuts, Trangone slashed $900,000 in staff back in May and hoped for the best. Now he's going to ask the state for a $470,000 emergency grant to pay for school programs he's loath to kill.
I think that our chances I don't think they're very high, but again, we have to put that in because of the fact of its impact on program.
The reform law shifts school funding over the next 7 years. Ultimately, some districts will have to confront raising taxes. I'm Brenda Flanagan, NJTV News.
A mobile eye in the sky. That tops tonight's Garden State Express. Our first stop, Atlantic City, where police have unfolded a 28-foot-high mobile surveillance tower loaded with flood and spotlights, a public address system, and siren, and 7 cameras, 2 pan-tilt zooms, 3 stationary, and 1 thermal that afford a 360-degree view of what lies beneath. The feeds can be monitored on a computer inside the temperature-controlled tower and back at headquarters to spot crimes in progress or act as a deterrent. The $235,000 addition was funded by an FBI grant. The deputy chief says the department decals that adorn it were funded by the Police Foundation in the hopes that when Skywatch goes up, crime comes down. Next to Harding Township, where what came down was a tree on top of a horse whose leg was trapped between 2 stumps. The owner alerted the police, who called in the cavalry. New Vernon volunteer firefighters armed with saws who were able to cut the horse free. It was able to stand on its own, and police were able to post the rescue photos on their Facebook page, saying residents should rest assured they have a dedicated team of qualified individuals ready to respond day or night to assist in any way. Finally, Jersey City cheering a gold medalist. Special Olympian Rosanna Darius brought home not 1, but 3 gold medals in swimming. The 25-meter backstroke, 25-meter medley relay, and the 50-meter too. The 16-year-old, who has attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, started swimming just 5 years ago. Now she's on the Dickinson High School swim team and was one of 4,000 athletes to converge on the Special Olympics USA Games in Seattle earlier this month. Rosanna says she used to be afraid of the water. Now she's really making waves. And that's the Garden State Express for Wednesday, July 25th. Something up in your neighborhood? Tip us off. Parents know children start using words to help them make sense of the world. But sometimes there's a disconnect in adopting language that parents often misunderstand or miss completely. Lauren Wonka reports.
Can I hear that? Bulldozer. Bulldozer. Oh, very nice. That was so many syllables.
5-year-old Parker is in his weekly speech therapy session.
Nice and loud. Cake. Cake!
Born prematurely, Parker is physically disabled and was diagnosed with a speech delay. He's worked with speech-language pathologists since he was a year old.
Oh, that was a good one. Even louder. Let's use your loud voice.
I know the sooner you catch it, the better it is.
Experts agree with Parker's mom, although a new survey indicates not all parents feel the same way. An American Speech-Language Hearing Association, or ASHA, national poll of audiologists and speech-language pathologists indicates parents are largely unaware of the early warning signs of communication disorders in children, and they don't recognize the benefits of early treatment.
Well, about 11% of preschool children are going to have a speech, language, hearing, or swallowing disorder. And then if those go unaddressed, we find that about 15% of school-age children will have some type of communication disorder.
ASHA President Elise Davis McFarland says sometimes parents take a wait-and-see approach if they suspect their child has a developmental issue.
What we know is that the sooner the issues are addressed by a professional, the better chance the child has of getting on that normal developmental progression.
ASHA encourages parents to become aware of signs of communication disorders, like babies who aren't babbling at 4 to 7 months old, or 12 to 18-month-olds who only say a few words.
I saw the results right away, so my fears were just washed away.
Parker's mom says she listened as her little boy began speaking single words, then 2 or 3 word phrases, and eventually full sentences. He couldn't wait to tell us about his twin brother.
I love him so much.
And Jersey Shore University Medical Center speech-language pathologist Ariana Jarozinski seems to love working with Parker, too. As for what a typical session is like,
I would say the birth to 3 population, it's all following the child's lead and bringing in toys you think they'd be engaged in, and you can map speech tasks onto. With the 3 to 6 population, it's the transition to more structure, and like first we do this, then we do that, and really getting them engaged, whether it's sounds that you're working on or if it's expanding utterances from 1 to 2 word utterances to like say 3 to 5 word utterances.
Ariana says the majority of parents who bring their children in for an evaluation don't think their kids have any speech difficulties and are often surprised to find out they do. They're usually referred by their pediatrician. Initially here, speech pathologists ask the parents how many words their child uses to communicate his or her wants and needs. The medical team observes the young patient's eye contact and how well they follow routine directions. As for Parker, he's starting kindergarten this September. And clearly ready to talk to new friends. In Neptune, I'm Lauren Wonko, NJTV News.
Good job.
And now some noteworthy facts that help you know Jersey. New Jersey's Council on Affordable Housing was created in 1985. The hourly wage needed to afford an average 2-bedroom apartment in New Jersey is $28.17. The state EDA has approved more than $4 billion in tax credits through its Grow New Jersey program. And New Jersey has 105 Superfund sites, more than any other state. If there's someone who you'd like to get to know Jersey, share. Use #KnowJersey. Tomorrow on NJTV News, is there a future for the growing number of half-empty shopping malls? To share any story you've seen tonight, go to njtvnews.org. I'm Mary Alice Williams. For all the men and women of NJTV News, thanks for being here. See you tomorrow.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. NJM Insurance Group, serving the insurance needs of New Jersey residents and businesses for more than 100 years. And Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
PSE&G is building New Jersey's clean energy future.
We're working to protect our network against extreme weather, expanding and upgrading transmission lines, and modernizing our natural gas system by installing new, more durable underground pipes. At PSE&G, our goal is to make sure you have the safe, reliable energy you need to power your life now and into the future.
In every county across the state,
I do like that Horizon is a Jersey company. It's almost like a sports team. For us, it's like ours.
in sickness and in health.
You never think it's going to happen to you, especially being so young. Horizon has been there for me through everything I've been through.
With experience and stability, we're behind you.
You know, we're hardworking people in New Jersey. Horizon gets us.